Hey folks, Pat here from DNS. This Madison area fishing report is current as of December 1st. Well, we're back after a nice long break. Had some time to spend some time in the deer woods and do some fishing, and also spend some time with family over Thanksgiving, of course. So while it's good to be away, it's good to be back and good to be doing the reports. And we've got ice stuff up on the shelves, and so all we need now is some ice. We do have a little bit of ice around town. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But last night we kicked off our winter seminar series with Rick Kruger coming in. And Rick is a local scuba diver, very well known, goes as RK Diver on Lake Link. He also has a great YouTube channel. You can look him up at RK Diver on there. But anyway, yeah. He gave a great talk about all the cool stuff he's found underneath the surface of the Madison chain, some old cars and boats and stuff like that. But more importantly to the anglers in the room, he went over all the really interesting fish that he's seen holding on different structures, talking about spots within spots, and how basically any structure that is out there will hold fish at some time. So we had a great time. It was a really great presentation. Rick was nice enough to hook up some stuff from the folks at Aquaview, so we had some nice door prizes to give away. And the grand door prize was a list of his over 1,800 waypoints that he has around the Madison chain. So that's a real valuable tool to any angler. Just want to thank Rick a whole bunch for coming in. It was a great presentation. Also want to thank all the folks that showed up. You can see here in the photo. It was great, very well attended. So yeah, we had a great time last night. Happy to kick off those seminar series. And next week we've got Noah Humfeld coming in on December 7th. That's next Thursday at 7 p.m. He'll be talking about chasing toothy critters on the Madison chain. Noah's a very well-known local guide. He's the host and star of the hit YouTube show Shop Talk, which he's done some of those here at the shop with us. Yeah, super entertaining, super informative. Going to be a great presentation talking about what he does to get walleye and pike on the ice. I'm not sure anybody knows more about walleye and pike than Noah. And then the week after that, December 14th, 7 o'clock here at the shop, we have Pat Westberg. Pat's been fishing plastics for panfish since people have been fishing plastics for panfish. He's just been in it for a long time. He knows all the tricks. And, live bait's great. I am a live bait person myself, but the fact of the matter is that plastics or sometimes the fish are just on plastics, and I've been outfished by folks using plastics. So a lot of times, what I think folks need is just a little nudge to say, well, this is how you do it. This is what cadence is. This is different things that you can look at, and Pat's going to be the person to teach you all that. So he'll be coming in, like I said, the 14th at 7 o'clock, talking about plastics for panfish. Like I did mention too, I just want to mention this quick too. We do have ice. The ice is thin. The ice going forward is going to be thin. I want folks to be safe out there. We do have spud bars here at the shop. We sell these J ropes, which are really cool. It's like a harness system for your sled that unwraps into a 30-foot toss rope if you need it. And then floating ice picks, stuff you can wear around your neck. A lot of folks will take a life preserver, seats cushion out, just to have something out there in the event that something goes wrong. It's best to be safe, and really that's our main concern here. I guess enough of that commercial there, I guess. I did want to talk briefly about, I get a lot of people calling the shop asking about lake access. I had a guy call the shop and tell me that there's a sign at Babcock saying they're going to be pulling that pier on Monday the 4th. That's this coming Monday. And the website confirms that. So that's it for the county launches. I haven't heard anything about city launches specifically, but I do know that a guy, Matthew, just actually sent me an email this morning saying that the Warner Park launch is still in. So if they don't remove it today, that's going to be in through the weekend, and who knows how long into next week. You can call the shop here and check it out or call and see if we have any more information as far as launches go. But they're not going to be around long. And I also had a woman contact me. Catherine Ford is an artist out of Mount Horeb. She recently started fly fishing and was kind of frustrated with the lack of educational opportunities for fly fishing. So she took it upon herself to form this group called Line Workers. And they're going to be doing a free casting and fly fishing instruction class for youths ages 12 to 14. This is in Mount Horeb. And it's a 3-session class, January 20th, 17th, and 16th. And it's just 10 a.m. to noon. And it's going to be indoors. So you can practice with a practice rod. They do require a $100 security deposit for the use of the indoor practice rod, but it says right here that once you're done with the class, you walk away with a fly fishing combo at a value of $300. So it sounds like a great deal to me if you've got a young person that wants to learn about fly fishing. They got a whole agenda here. Also, I noted that the instructors here. Kalen Hoggard. I met Kalen at a Southern Wisconsin Trout Unlimited spring fundraiser. I was in charge of hosting the casting clinic, and Kalen absolutely destroyed everybody that was casting out there. I mean, that guy can cast. So yeah, very knowledgeable. Instructors should be a great opportunity. So if you're interested, contact Catherine Ford at lineworkersflyfishers@gmail.com. And so, yeah, and if you want, you can contact me. I can send you this PDF or whatever. But yeah, if you just email lineworkers@flyfishers@gmail.com, yeah, get a hold of that and take the opportunity. I think you need to be signed up by December 29th is what Catherine asks. So, yeah, back onto the report. Had a nice little cold snap come through a few days ago. We have ice up on Cherokee. More on that later. The forecast seems to change every day right now, but they're saying some snow Saturday into Sunday, which I'll take over the rain they were predicting earlier this week. Maybe the snow will insulate the ice that we have so we can hold on to it through next week, where they're predicting some highs in the 40s a couple days. Cold temps at night. We don't lose any ice, but we also don't make any because it's not quite enough cold to be making much ice, at least in the forecast this next week. The Mendota buoy, of course, is down, but the online surface temp thing that I have said that it was 48 degrees on the surface, so there were a ways to go from making ice out there. But the monitor down here on Brittingham Bay on Lake Monona was reading 35 this morning. So, we get another little cold snap, and that should lock up pretty quick. Generally around the chain, by far the biggest news is that Cherokee has ice. Not much, and I'm not sure how long it'll last, but we'll talk about that in just a sec. Otherwise, with the cold snap we have, I haven't heard much as far as people getting out around town. The shore anglers are still getting walleye up shallow, mostly at night, and muskie season's closed now, but the muskie folks were doing well right up until the end. And, as soon as we get some ice, we'll have a lot more to talk about. Local area rivers are running at or just below their seasonal averages for this time of year. But I guess we'll get into some more details here. So, yeah, the big news around town is that Cherokee has ice. And, my stupid logo is in the way here, so I can't switch over to the satellite view, but we'll do our best here. So most of your folks are fishing out from Cherokee Park here off Burningwood Way. Just staying close to shore. There's only 2 inches of ice out there right now, and it's supposed to be kind of warm today. I definitely encourage everybody to use caution out there. Most of the folks are fishing out in front of the bench here. There's some folks out from the canoes that are kind of along the shore here. There have been some folks that have gone through. I drove over there the other day and did see a hole in the ice where somebody went through right here. Like if you parked here and there's a steep bank, if you're walking out to the island, somebody went through there. But there's springs in there, and you always got to be careful in that area specifically. But they are getting on pretty good down here. They've been getting some bluegills down there, some nice ones that you have to work for, some dinks. It depends on the day. Some days the dinks are in there, some days the big fish are in. They have been getting pike as well, pretty consistently. Smaller fish, in that 20 to 30 inch range, but still a lot of fun and some good action. Haven't heard about any big dogs coming out of there yet, but anyway, they're on Cherokee. The ice is sketchy. Proceed at your own risk. And yeah, feel free to call the shop, 241-4225, if you have any questions about the conditions currently. 113 bridge is closed. This report's going to go pretty quick from here on out. 113 bridge is closed because there's ice up there. The bridge isn't closed. It's capped over. Lake Mendota, not much going on. Too warm to make ice, although, like I said, the shore fishing folks have been doing well along the University shoreline down here. And, of course, Tenney Park Breakwall, always a good spot this time of year. And folks are still getting fish. They're still coming up shallow. So that's good to hear. Good walleye bite down there. Lake Monona, kind of the same deal. Not froze over yet. They are getting walleyes out in front of the Monona Terrace, down John Nolan Drive. Actually, this whole shoreline from the Yahara River all the way down John Nolan is producing walleyes at night. Panfish have pretty much moved out of the Monona Terrace. They were getting them there for the last couple months. I've kind of moved into Monona Bay down here. A lot of panfish in there right now. So if you can launch a boat or canoe or something, like I said, there's no piers left. I think there's still a pier down here at Olin. They're going to be pulling that soon anyway. if you can get in there, or fish from shore, there's crappies and bluegills in there, and the occasional walleye come out near the trestles down there too. Down the chain, Wabisa, not much going on that I hear about, although the panfish have kind of moved up into upper mud from what I hear, so some great panfish fishing up there. And as soon as that ice is over, that's always a very, very popular ice fishing destination for folks. Down here on Keeganza, I haven't heard a lot going on down here either. Of course, you got Viking Park down here on your way, continuing on down to Stoughton. That's another very popular early ice spot. Get the Har River here. This little bay ices over, and then this little finger up here, and they get fishing there. It's very shallow. I've heard there's ice over it, but a guy was in just yesterday from Stoughton who told me he hasn't seen anybody fishing it yet. As far as the rest of the report goes, Kashkanang, I did just see a thing online where they've got some ice on Kashkanang, but just in the shallow bays and stuff, and it's not anywhere near walkable yet, but at least it's a skim. Walleyes and saugers at the Indian Ford Dam, walleyes and saugers at Black Hawk Island and the mouth of the Kashkanang here, and in the river up to Fort, up to 20 or up to 26 here, and even up in Fort, up at the Jefferson Bridge. They've been getting some walleyes and saugers up there. Haven't heard anything, like Beaver Dam or anything. It's just been, quiet. Plus, we've been closed for 2 weeks, so not a ton to report about out of any of the lakes. Where is Devil's Lake? Here we go. Devil's Lake. I'm sure the brown trout are cruising the shallows up there by now. It's that time of year, and they should be up there doing that. So if you want to go up and cast for them, it's a pretty great time. Otherwise, the Wisconsin River, I don't hear much about downriver stuff, but fish are stacked up at the dams. Harley was up at the dam over the break and just pounded the walleyes and saugers up there. Not much for size. They got some nice fish, but real good numbers up there. And that's going to be a theme through all the dams up and down the river. Lake Wisconsin here. I did hear that there's a pier in at Sunset Bay over here. Paul Zock was in the other day, and he made the drive up to check out the fingers here at Harmony Grove. But he said there was ice, but you couldn't get on. No ice at Wayland's Grade yet. Up the river, I haven't heard anything about Portage or up to the Dells. They've been getting some walleyes, some good walleyes up there, and saugers. A lot of short fish, but some good action. Same thing at Castle Rock and Petenwell Dams. Some good action up there for walleyes and saugers. And up on Petenwell, I hear they are still getting some walleyes out, launching boats and stuff. So there's that. Nothing that I've heard over in the Mississippi River. The backwaters, I haven't heard about any of them being iced over yet. Of course, the river's not iced over, but some good fishing to be had at the dams for walleyes and saugers. This time of year, I spent a ton of time in the woods, more time in the woods than I've spent, I think, any year before this, and I still wasn't able to get a buck, but made it out fishing with Harley over the break, and maybe you saw on social media here, landed a couple nice coho buck salmon. So it was a great time out there chasing these fish around in the tribs. We did see some steelhead and saw some coho, some brown trout up. We weren't able to catch those. Brown trout were more focused on breeding. Here's a beautiful coho that a male that Harley caught. Got this one on a gurgler, which is a topwater fly. It couldn't be an uglier fly. White with a pink tail. But man, he hooked several fish on that fly. And I'd never even really thought that was a thing, topwater for salmon. But Harley proved me wrong. And yeah, we had a great time out there. So always love getting out to the tribs this time of year. And, like I said, those fish are going to be moving into all the tribs. They are moved in. There's brown trout up in all the tribs. Up and down the East Coast, the Root River, Menominee River, Milwaukee River, Sauk Creek, all the way up, Sheboygan, all the way up, you're going to find brown trout and steelhead. The brown trout will spawn and move out. The steelhead will stick around. A lot of them live in the creeks through the winter, and they'll be there in the spring waiting to spawn. So it's a real exciting time to get over and do that. Again, we'll keep with the Happy Fly Day theme here. When I'm fishing these fish, I like to use, like a heavy woolly bugger with an egg pattern behind it. Your traditional egg, fur patterns here are fine. But what I like, especially are these beads. Bead fishing has become more popular recently. So these just look like an egg, and you run a little hook behind them. You can run them on floats behind spinning gear. And I see a lot of folks on the tribs fishing these rigs too. So it's a super effective way to get these brown trout and steelhead. And swing by the shop and check them out if you like. Of course, inland trout season is closed right now, but the early catch and release season is just 36 days away. Not that I'm counting or anything, but that'll be exciting when that opens back up. But I guess that pretty much does it for the report. Like I said, feel free to call the shop here at 241-4225 if you have any questions on anything we've talked about here. Otherwise, appreciate you tuning in. I wish you luck out there. Be safe if you're getting out on the ice, and I guess we'll talk to you next week. Thanks so much.